Hello everyone and welcome to your channeled energies of the week from me, Elwyn Jennings, your spiritual guide and divorce empowerment coach. This is Monday the 15th of September, so this energy forecast is from today until Sunday the 21st of September. So I hope that you are all well. I know it's been an intense period for many, being in this eclipse window. Things are changing fast. There's lots of endings going on, but this is making way for more aligned things come into your life, things that are going to be better for you ultimately. Some of you have been affected more than others. The Virgos out there, including me, will certainly be going through it because we've had one new moon this month already, and we've got another new moon on Sunday in Virgo, but it's a solar eclipse, so it's extra powerful. And of course we had the full moon in Pisces a couple of weeks ago, and again, if your sign is Pisces, you'll probably be feeling it as well, although we've all got Virgo and Pisces in our charts. Well, most of us have, and therefore I think we're all being impacted on some level. So interesting times. So I hope you're coping well. So as usual, this forecast deals with the main energies that are coming up this week according to what's going on in the skies. From my understanding of astrology, which is not certainly not at the expert level, but I know a bit, but also just what's coming in from my intuition and my guides. We also look at what's gone on before, which has been leading up to this a little bit. So you will know, certainly from the beginning of this year, each time I've done these videos, my guides have been talking about the need to move into greater soul alignment. What does that mean? That means getting more aligned with what you're really here to do, and what really floats your boat. Okay, it's all about getting rid of those behaviors and those mindset beliefs that we tell ourselves that we're not good enough, or we keep ourselves small, or we say yes when we mean no because we're trying to fit in with everybody else. We're trying to please everybody else quite often. We're trying to not be seen, maybe. Well, it's time for all that to go, especially if you over the last few weeks know there are things that you want to change, know there are things you need to change because maybe you haven't been well and your body is showing you where things aren't right, or your health is showing you where things aren't right. Your body remembers everything. Maybe you want to change your job, or you want to change your career or your business, but it's like, well, and that's the right thing to do from an intuitive, soul-led position, but your head is trying to talk you out of it. And the energies that have been leading up to this have been all about, listen to your intuition more, listen to your intuition, go with that. And that's because we're moving more and more into living that way. So you may well find, and this is going to come up this week as well, you have an argument between your head and your intuition. But again, please try and go with your intuition. Now, I talk about this all the time. I talk about it with my clients. I use my intuition, but even I still have moments where I'm in an argument with my head. So I know it's not easy, but the more we ignore our deep knowing, the more likely it is that the universe will take over proceedings, as I've said before, and move you onto a different path altogether, which will probably be for your highest good, but it might be a bit more of a shock. Okay. So this week appears to be a big week of inner, like really going within. Bit of self-discovery as well. I think I understand from the way the planets are positioned this week that we're being asked, where our wounding is. What are we doing? Why are we holding ourselves back? What are the stories we've been telling ourselves? So like maybe something happened to you years ago that put you off doing something, and therefore you think that's going to repeat. So, you don't do it. You don't take the action that might now be a good idea, right? So what is it that you're telling yourself? What is it you're limiting yourself with? What excuse is your mind making for you? All right. Because actually it's trying to keep you safe in a way. If we stay in our comfort zone, then we're safe, right? But actually you're not in that expansive part of you, which is where all the fun happens. And by staying in your comfort zone, are you actually really happy? So these are the things that you're being asked, that you will end up asking yourself this week, or along those lines. Hi Zoe. Nice to see you. So we're really going to be shown or called to look at where we're really stuck, and also to look at what we need to do to move forward from that place of being stuck. Okay, we may also find that our boundaries are being challenged this week. So if you've worked quite hard to establish some boundaries, you may find that they are challenged by whoever you've set the boundary with, or whatever you've set the boundary with. So, but again, I guess it is a bit of a test. Really try and honor yourself and value those boundaries, okay? We've got a very powerful new moon solar eclipse coming up on Sunday, and everything this week is leading to that. It's in Virgo. It's about decluttering, resetting, reintroducing yourself into the world, really learning from what's gone on, especially in the last few weeks, and letting go of what you can, setting really powerful intentions moving forward. Okay, you are most definitely not who you were a few weeks ago. All right, so you're also going to find your intuition really ramps up this week. You probably get some insights. You might not know where they're coming from, but they're coming from your intuition. Again, as I mentioned earlier, you might find your mind, saying, well, are you sure? This is ongoing. But the more you trust, the more you go with that, your intuition, the better. In fact, my invitation for you this week is to really trust your intuition. And when your mind is trying to talk you out of something, just have a word with yourself. Okay. It's a good week for manifestation. This is more towards the end of the week. So the first few days of this week, you're going to be in this like inner reflection, you're going to start to realize where you're holding yourself back. Then you realize you need to take action. As I say, you may be challenged as well. And in fact, you may be challenged to make the change that you need to make. So it could be that something happens whereby you don't have a choice but to make that change. And sometimes that is necessary. And it depends what the change is, of course. So it's quite a big week. So you may well feel, we're in eclipse season anyway, so most of us have been feeling tired in any event, but you may feel even more tired. Notice where your body is showing you where things are hurting or what's going on. My friend Helen Cornby was talking the other day about a lot of people with ankle problems, like they've sprained them or they've done something to them. That means, we're not grounded. Where, if you're holding pain in your shoulders, how much responsibility are you taking on? Is it too much? Lower back can mean you're not feeling secure in yourself. So just notice where these things are. with any new moon, it's a good time to declutter, like physically as well as mentally and emotionally. So before I bring in my guides, but I feel like that's mainly what you need to know, I'm just going to pull a card from my deck, the Empowered Woman Rises. See if there's any insight there. Do some journaling this week as well. I've had a few clients contact me today actually saying like they feel like they need to work on some blocks. So, you know, they must be getting this message as well, that they know there's something that needs to be cleared before the new moon. Right. Okay. You've got healing light. So if you've watched me before with these cards, this is a beautiful most of the messages in the guidebook are channeled, but this one is particularly because it's going to give you some healing. If you've got the deck, you can obviously look in the book, but I will read it out to you in a minute. I'm just going to bring in my guides first, just to confirm or say differently to what I've already told you about this week. And then I will read the message from this card. Obviously I can tune in anyway, but this was a very specific message that I was told not to change in the guidebook, so it's come up for a reason. And just look at that beautiful light coming in, and 22 is a master number, so there's big changes afoot this week, big energetic changes, big real life changes for some of us as well. Okay, yeah, I'll come into that in a minute. So just let me bring in my guides. Okay, hello everybody. Yes, it's everything that Olwen's just said. You really need to go with the flow this week, and the flow this week may feel a little bit like a roller coaster or being on spin in the washing machine, but please know this is all for your highest good. So if you haven't already worked on what it is you wish to change or what needs to change, even if it's just taking those first steps, then this week's really going to highlight that. It's really going to show you where you still need to do some work, and it's quite deep work. It's about really looking at the stories you're telling yourself. Really, some of these stories are old, from a long time ago, and you've learned so much since then, so you don't need to be telling yourself those stories. Also looking at which relationships are no longer in alignment, looking at the relationship you have with yourself, being kinder, being more compassionate. But more than anything, as Olwen said, this is all about trusting your intuition. To live a soul-led life, that's what you need to do. And this is where humanity is headed. It may not feel like that when you look at the news and everything else, but this is where humanity is headed. And in fact, those in power don't like it, because you will start to realize what lies you're being told. All right, so that's another topic maybe. So just hold your line with your intuition. When your mind comes in to persuade you differently, just remember your mind is full of stories you've told it, but also stories they've heard from elsewhere, and they're not necessarily true. We're hitting on a nerve here because Olwen has started to cough, and that's her throat chakra. So she's coughing on her behalf, but also on your behalf, because there are some real truths to be revealed this week. Okay. So Owen wants us to apologize, but you know, it is what it is with the cough. It's the throat, it's the chakra. Are you speaking your truth? Many of you are not still totally speaking your truths. Okay? Why? What are you scared of? Don't let fear take hold of you or take over your lives. Don't live from a place of fear. Please. Your guides, the universe, have your back. We know it's scary. Many of you have lived in a smaller version of your lives for a very long time, or have lived within a certain way of being because it suited you, or because it was easier, or you didn't want to upset things. But now is not the time for that. All right? We know it's hard to hear. So really honoring yourself, honoring your truth. Do the work this week. Do the journaling. Do the meditation if you do meditation. Whatever it is that really gets you in touch with yourself, do that, please. You'll get greater clarity if you do as the week goes on, because you're going to be supported by planetary activity in that regard. And then, of course, the new moon's coming in. Virgo encourages you to declutter, to tidy up your life, but to also sort of really bring in what it is you want to manifest. Okay? So, it is a big week, but we know you can do it, and we know it will be worth it. Okay? I'm sorry about the coughing, but it was all part of what's going on. Before I bring in this healing message, just to remind you, I've got my free event on the 26th of September at 2 p.m, where you'll have the chance to have mini soul plan readings. So you may find that's helpful to you as well at this time. And I'll put details above the video. Okay, so those of you still with me, this card, Healing Light, is meant for you. It's from the Empowered Woman Rises by me. Just look at the card as I read out the words. We are offering you this healing light. It will bring deep healing to you. It's our way of saying thank you and of acknowledging you. You are an incredible being, and we know that life often poses certain challenges. You are consciously awake to your journey and have been doing much healing work. Now it's your time to let us help you. If you can, take some lovely deep breaths in and out. Allow your body to relax and hold this card close to your heart. In this case, you're looking at it. Imagine the golden light from this card entering your heart and spreading throughout your entire body at all levels, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Imagine you are absorbing this light, which is filled with unconditional love from us. Feel the love being transmitted into your cells, into your DNA strands. Notice how you feel now. This light is of the highest frequency and is full of love and healing codes. And just sit there and take that in for as long as you want. You can pause the video and just look at the card and take all of that in. I guess you needed some extra support right there. I will take a picture actually and put it in the comments as well. Okay, so that's all from me for this week. I'm wishing you a good week. Rest if you're tired. Be compassionate with yourself. And I will be back next week. Bye for now.